Well, this week, Ariana Bennett is reporting in Washington, D.C. on special invitation from the White House. We heard from her last night about the big topic of the day, or maybe we should say week, months. And that, of course, is the health care battle in the Senate.
But another part of the invitation included one-on-one interviews with members of the cabinet and some senior White House staff. Ariana Bennett is near the Capitol after speaking with them about the issues that matter to us here at home. And so, Ari, were they familiar with issues in our state?
Yeah, actually, well, I mean, it was a mix. Most of them said they visited our state at least once. Some of them, though, were actually familiar with our biggest issues that came up during the legislative session. One of them even mentioned the Reno Aces. But really, most of the conversations we had centered on the major national issues that will affect Nevadans as well. Of course, that's healthcare reform and the budget.
And I know what it would be like as an elected Republican to go back on August recess, for example, and try to explain to people why, after 7 years, we had not repealed Obamacare.
For Mick Mulvaney, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, getting the country's budget on track has a lot to do with health care reform. One of the federal government's biggest expenses is health care entitlements like Medicare and Medicaid. That puts the Obamacare Medicaid expansion on the chopping block. And more than 200,000 Nevadans have coverage under that expansion. But for Nevadans worried about those cuts, Mulvaney says the concern is overhyped.
Often what folks say is getting cut is simply slowing the rate of growth, and that's what a lot of the proposed bills do for the Medicaid expansion.
Mulvaney is watching some looming deadlines as well. Congress will have to raise the debt ceiling and pass a dozen different funding bills this summer in order to keep the government running. How are you feeling about Congress's ability to work together to get these things done?
That is a really, really good question, and I'd love to say cautiously optimistic, but maybe I'm cautiously pessimistic.
The concern over the partisan divide and obstructionist tactics on both sides of the aisle is common here.
Right now, it's probably more polarized than it has been in many, many years.
Mark Short, the director of legislative affairs for the White House, is the man in charge of wrangling President Trump's campaign promises into legislation on Capitol Hill.
And so it's created a very disharmonious attitude on the Senate floor, and that's a challenge that America faces.
Still, Short believes the Obamacare repeal is inevitable.
We're optimistic that it will happen. It's going to continue to be a long road ahead. It's been a long road behind us.